What's up with your butt up? Did you miss me? Because I miss me too, bitch. I've been in and out of depression. I ain't even gonna front with y'all. I'm sorry, I've been gone for forever. I got the flu, the baby's got the flu. It's been a time, but throughout that, you know, I've had a birthday. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. No, but for real though, what's up? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to your favorite series, Story Time, to get your mind off of the serious stuff that's going on in your life. Just a little tap in, check in. How are y'all? I know there's so much catching up to do. I missed the hell out of y'all. There's a lot of growth that's been going on my end, and I'll probably do a separate video with a whole life update with some more like in-depth information, but just a lot of growing. A lot of shit, just a lot. Before we get into like the nitty gritty meat and potatoes of, you know, some of the harder topics, I did want to come back strong with a story time. I know that y'all are fiending, y'all itching like some little crackheads. Grab your wine, grab your snacks, cause it's story time. I am coming at you guys with a pretty petty story time. You know, I had my petty moments. This is one of those moments where I was grown, and I had a petty moment, and it is what it is. And you know, would I have dealt with it differently? Probably not. As usual, you guys will let me know your 2 cents down in the comments. Don't forget, if you're not a part of my Glamour family, please hit that subscribe button. You know, I'm trying to get my numbers back up because, you know, a bitch has been gone. Once upon a time, not long ago, I had this work friend. You know, she was cool. She was a home skillet. I met her at an office job. I don't think I was there for very long. It was like a very like temp position, but she was really cool. We happened to live by each other, so sometimes we would meet up. Like, this was at that point in time, girl, when I was always out in the streets. I was always in the calle. I was always doing something, seeing somebody. I just could not sit still. If I had some words of wisdom for you, do that. Like, especially when you're younger, you ain't got no kids. Like, girl, be out there in them streets, okay? Live your life, girl. Live it and live it well. And that's what I was doing. So I would go just randomly to go have brunch with another friend or go have lunch or whatever. So she and I kind of started hanging out a little bit after work during the weekends. We started like going to these little diners together. Sometimes we would go to like the Santa Fe district, go from like little artsy shops. My friends would have pop-ups there. So she kind of started becoming acquainted with like my inner circle, or like my group of friends that I was hanging out mostly with at that point. We're gonna name her Sabrina. A lot of people thought we were related. We definitely looked like we could have been cousins down the line somewhere. I have a pattern where my friends are always like opposite sides of the spectrum. They're either extremely fiery and like they just always have to have an opinion and they're loud and they're blunt, or I have friends that are very shy and very to themselves, very passive. I can never find anybody in the middle. So like, those are like my 2. But this one right here, Sabrina, was one of my fiery friends. And there are certain moments in your life that you need both types. If you're thinking about committing a crime and going to jail, you might need your like, you know, calm friend. You need your calm friend in that moment. Don't be going to your fire friend because she's gonna be locked up with you. I quickly started seeing that about her, and I loved her personality. And she and I were alike in that way. We're like, girl, we would just, I don't know, we would speak our mind and make fun of people and just be talking shit, and just like, we always just had a good time. So we started making it a habit, right, to go to like this little, it was like a hole in the wall bar, and it was right near her house. And I was like, how do you know about this place? And she was like, girl, my family comes here all the time, her and all her cousins or whatever. And so we would go there and we would get micheladas, and we would stay there, girl, for like 2-3 hours just talking. We would update each other, and at this time we were working at separate places, and she was single and I was like, you know, in my relationship with David, and you know, we had like drama going on, not me and David personally, but in our lives, bitch, at this time. Very dramatic. Like, there was so much going on. A little personal. My point being is that table, we always had shit to bring to the table. We always had so much drama to figure out, and what would you do, and this and that, right? So fast forward, okay? One day comes around and I go to my little meeting with Sabrina, and we get ourselves some micheladas, and you know, we're having a good old time. We're talking about things. And she had been bringing up her best friend throughout time, and you know, meeting so many people, I have definitely distinguished that there's a legitimate difference between regular friends and best friends. So I take that shit really, really serious. And she and I were really close friends, but we were not best friends. I already had my best friend. She had her own best friend that she had known for years and years and years. I don't want to put a number on it, but I do know like since children, like I want to say since like elementary school-ish, around that time, like a long time, okay? They grew up in the same neighborhood. They went to the same schools. Their families knew each other really well. And so she always mentioned her best friend, and I'm going to name her best friend Desiree, okay? She would have stories upon stories about all the stuff that her and her bestie Desiree would get into, right? Now, Desiree like worked, I think, night shift, or she worked weird hours. So that was why Sabrina was hanging out with me a little bit more, and we had more time together because her bestie had like a different job with different hours. So anyways, girl, during this meeting, Sabrina brings up Desiree, and at this time I had not met her because, you know, we just never had the chance. I think my best friend is feeling like kind of a ways about you. And I was like, oh my God, like, girl, the amount of problems that I be having with girls that don't know me. Like, I was like, please, God, no. And she was like, no, like not seriously, but like she is kind of curious, and she knows that I've been hanging out with you. And, you know, it was just so funny because the dynamic with finding friends as I don't know, just for me personally, like finding girlfriends, it was very similar to dating like that, where like the best friend, if you're hanging out with this girl for too long, the best friend is going to be all heightened and be like, who the fuck is that? And like now I understand because I have my best friend, and I get that way. I get real territorial, and she gets territorial over me. That was happening in this situation, and she was like, you know, she's just been curious. And I was like, okay, well, like, tell her to calm down. Ain't nobody trying to steal her best friend. So we're just like laughing about it. And she was like, nah, for real, like, I really want you guys to meet. You know, maybe we can do like a cookout or a barbecue or something. You could come over. And, you know, it all sounded fine and dandy. But at this time, girl, I had already been burnt. I already dealt with some. And just the thought of it, I don't know what it was when she mentioned it. I just kind of like, I didn't say no, but in my mind, I was like, is that a smart idea? Because like, I like what we have going, mama. Like, we don't have to take our relationship anywhere, friend. She starts coming up with these little tentative plans. And I was like, look, you just tell me when, where, I'll be there. No big deal. Like, I know how to meet new people. It's not a big deal. Once she meets me, she'll know. No harm, no foul. From this conversation, she kind of segues into, oh yeah, like, I want you to meet her and like just kind of get to know her because, girl, like, I'm in kind of like a tough spot right now, and like I don't know what I should do. And I was like, all right, like, spill. So here's what had happened, okay? Now, my girl Sabrina was single, and she had a baby already. She had a daughter. Her daughter was probably almost like 5. She had been single for the majority of her daughter's life after the baby dad didn't work out. And so, you know, she was a hard worker. She really focused on her daughter, and she hardly focused on dating, right? But at this point in time, she was like, I think I'm ready to start dating. Like, I have stability with my apartment and my daughter and like, you know, all of that. So I think I'm ready to like get out there again, right? So she had been talking about that for a few weeks. Well, at this point in time, in this juncture, she tells me, oh my God, like, I met somebody, and like, he's from my past, and like, we knew each other as kids. We went to school together, da-da-da. Like, I just feel like it was fate, and we ran into each other, and he's so funny, and I didn't realize how cute he was. And girl, she's like hard eyes, okay? And I'm like, oh my God, no way. And I was like, okay, so where's the problem? I don't know if it's actually gonna be like too big of a problem. It could be, but like, I mean, I don't see why. And I was like, okay, what? Okay, my best friend Desiree had a man when we were in high school, and they were pretty serious, and they were together for like years. And she was like, well, you know, we were all homies and we used to hang out together. Well, the guy that I'm talking to now is his brother. And so like, that's her ex's brother. And like, that was like her heartbreak of her life. Like, he broke her heart. I guess he had been talking to another girl or something, right? So they ended up breaking up before they graduated high school. And so anyways, in a nutshell, girl, the guy that she's talking to now is the brother of the guy that broke Desiree's heart and was like her high school sweetheart. So there's the issue. And she was like, I just don't know, like, if it's gonna be a problem. Here's the thing though, okay? Because I like context. I listen to people's stories and their memories and all of that. And she would talk about her best friend all the time. And one thing that I could gather about this girl is that she could fight. She could get down with the get down. They grew up on a side of town where, like, you know, they had like little street fights outside of the school. Like, they were, you know, they knew how to handle themselves, especially her best friend. She had like a fiery personality from what I could gather. And so I could tell that, you know, my girl was a little bit nervous. I'm the advocate of Talk to your best friend, especially if it's your best fucking friend, okay? Like, that's what sets you apart from all your other regular friends, is that you can talk to your best friend, or you should be able to talk to your best friend about hard things without worrying that there will be a disconnect or that y'all won't be friends anymore, because that unconditional love that you're looking for in like a romantic partner, you should look for that in a best friend as well, because it's same girl. Like, you gotta, it cannot be conditional, because at that point you're not a best friend. You know what I mean? I go that hard, okay? Like, just fucking face it. Like, that's your best friend. You know, treat her like your best friend. And that means that you can talk to her about whatever. She'll understand. And maybe she's so far removed from it that she won't care. But at least, you know, you guys are having an open dialogue about it. And it doesn't affect your friendship, because, you know, ultimately that's what she was concerned about. Anyways, y'all, we have this conversation. We finish our micheladas. Everything's all good. We say peace out. Okay, cool. My girl, Sabrina, is having a birthday party for her daughter, right? So me, David, and I even bring Julian. We go over to her house. She has a cute little backyard party. It was so much fun. As soon as I got there, I was just kind of like helping. And so when we had the introduction, it was so quick. Sabrina was like, oh, hey, Desiree. Hey, come here real fast. Okay, hey, this is my girl, Nikki. Remember, like, my homegirl that I met at work? Nikki, this is my best friend, Desiree. Okay, you guys have met. Okay, like, let's set up the cake. Like, it was something, it was like along those lines. It was like that. And so me and her were like, hey, nice to meet you. And like, we just kind of went our separate ways. And after that, you know, everything was all cool. We didn't have the chance to have like an in-depth conversation until the party starts kind of winding down. It starts getting dark. Everybody had had a few drinks, and Desiree comes and sits next to me, and I'm like, okay, like, here we go. So, you know, she starts in, oh, hey, like, you know, I haven't had a chance to talk to you. You know, I'm Desiree again. Like, I've known Sabrina for, you know, this amount of time. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And she was like, you know, nice to finally meet you. And I was like, yeah, you too. And so she starts asking me, you know, like, what do I do? We start talking about our jobs. It turned out that the middle school that I went to, she had gone there for like a year or two. And she was like, oh, so we start talking about that middle school. And she was like, it was so-and-so still there, and so-and-so. And like, we start getting into that. We kind of bond over that. And, you know, it was pretty tight. So she immediately after that, like, we felt like home skillets. And so I felt really good leaving that party. Like, you know, the bestie knows me. She's cool with me. We're cool. And I was really excited. I was really happy about it. Okay. So fast forward. And I don't know how much time. It was probably like a few months. And Sabrina ended up getting a hold of me, and it was somebody's birthday. Was it Desiree's birthday? Somebody's birthday, or Desiree's man's. But anyways, girl, Desiree was living with her mans at the time, and they lived in this townhouse. And it was one of their birthdays, okay? And so they were just going to be having like a little kickback at the townhouse. And so Sabrina got a hold of me and was like, hey, can you come? And I was like, yeah, girl, that's cool. And she was like, you know, we're just going to be chilling. The day comes around of this kickback. She wanted me to help her pick up some food. So I meet her over there near this townhouse. We got to pick up food that was around the corner. I hop in her car. We go pick up this food and we take it back to this house. And when we get back, there's this tall ass white boy, got basketball shorts on, socks on, just standing outside. And Sabrina was like, oh, hey. And before she could say anything, he was like, who's that? And he was like a little aggressive. And I was like, oh shit. And she was like, oh, this is my homegirl. Like, this is Nikki, you know, and she kept saying, she's cool. She's cool. Like, you know, she's good. And I was like, girl, immediately, red flag. A red flag. Don't play with me, okay? I've been in too many situations and I know what that means. So like, what is up, right? So we go inside. I go inside ever so hazardously. And, you know, we set down everything in their kitchen. And I keep looking over at my girl Sabrina, like, are you going to tell me what's up? Like, why is he so aggro? You know, like, I know the signs. I need you to tell me what's up. And just like real nonchalant, I was like, so what exactly does Desiree's man do? You know, he's an entrepreneur. He was slanging. Girl, I knew it. I freaking knew it. And I was like, why wouldn't you tell me? And she was like, I didn't want you to freak out. I find out Desiree's man's, you know, he be doing some things for cash. After that, there were just like some strange comings and goings, okay? Like, there were people that were coming in and they were clearly a part of the party, but then there were other people that were coming in and just staying in the entryway and then talking to Desiree's mans for a little bit, and then they would leave. So there was definitely some transactional process mess is going on, okay? And all of a sudden, Sabrina just gets like super excited. She jumps up off the couch and she's like, oh my God, yes, yes, yes. She was like, Nikki, come here, like you have to meet him. And I was like, okay. So I follow her and I stand in the kitchen. She goes and answers the door, and it's the guy that she's talking to, right? You know, they do like the big old hug, and like, you know, he's like picking her up off the floor, and it's so cute. And I'm like, oh my God. I think we took like a shot with him, and then, you know, he joined the rest of the party, right? So fast forward, and we end up playing this drinking game. I was like, I can play like maybe one round, bitch, but like if I do more than that, I'm gonna pass out. And like, I don't know people like that here, so no, you know. And I was gonna have David come pick me up or like Uber. Like I already knew that I wasn't gonna be able to drive home, okay? So I was like, I will play one round. And she was like, all right, fine. After my round, I end up losing or something, and I end up having to like take the drink. And I was like, that's it, I'm out, I'm gone. So I get up and I go into the kitchen. I go in there and I'm like trying to get me some water, like hydrate myself. Desiree walks in and she is like 2 sheets to the wind, okay? She had been in a room that she wasn't in the living room. She hadn't been playing the game. She was in another room, right? So she comes out, girl, she's dura to the pura. You hear me? She is red eyes. She had been drinking. She had been smoking. Like her eyes were red. Like she was acting like we've known each other for years. What's up, girl? You want to take a shot? And I was like, girl, no. Like, I will throw up. And she was like, no, yeah, that's fine. That's cool. So we start talking, right? And the way that the kitchen was set up, we could see into the living room. You know what's funny, bitch? Like, it's such a funny story. I haven't told her yet. But like, you know, I just don't want to ruin nothing, you know? Girl, she looks out into the living room, and while they're playing a game, Sabrina's sitting next to her man, Jason, or whatever the hell I named him. They're sitting like together, and like he's got his arm around her. Like they're very couple, okay? It's so weird to see them all lovey-dovey like that. Like I remember when he was like that with me. No, like that's Jason. Like in my mind, I was like, it's not his brother, it's Jason. Like I'm up in there, like you must have them mixed up. Like I know they kind of look alike, but that's not his brother, that's him. And she was like, I know. Girl T, bitch, she starts telling me in her drunken way that whenever she was with the brother, she spent a lot of time at their house. Her and the little brother, Jason, of whom my girl Sabrina is now dating and is all hooked up on right now, that him and Desiree did the tantaran a few times when she had been with the older brother. She had cheated on the older brother with the little brother who is now with my homegirl. And I'm like, and this is her best friend. You see why I have so many trust issues? You see? Because they always pick the person that they feel like doesn't have like deep connections, deep roots to just like completely word vomit on. And then I find out all this shit and I'm like, all y'all fakers. All y'all fakers. This whole fake loyalty thing, like ain't nobody loyal. Look at what are you talking about? So girl, I'm like, oh, no way. She doesn't know. She was like, bitch, no. Like, hell no, she doesn't know, but I know. And this was the point in time where I really started to see this girl's true colors, because she started talking about the situation like he was good at what he does, and he had also done some stuff to her, and she was like, you know, he's real good at what he does. Now I could see where she's coming from and like stuff like that. And I was like, who am I as the newbie into this situation where these girls have been friends for freaking ever? And this type of, like, why do I know this? Why do I know this? And so I'm like, oh, wow. Like, what do you say? So I'm like, oh, shit. Like, what a coinky dink. Time I got in that car, I was 2 sheets to the wind. But I remember like telling David all the tea. Going home, I was like, babe, you're not gonna believe this. Like, these girls be so fake. Like, they're so fake. And like, I was just like going off. And I was like, this girl for real. Like, this is what she said. And David's like all into it. And he's like, what are you gonna do? And I was like, what am I supposed to do? So like, girl, we were talking about it all the way home, right? It's not my place. Like, I just met this girl. I'm not besties with Sabrina. I love her. She's my home skillet. I love hanging out with her every once in a while, but she's not my best friend. She already got a best friend. And what happens between best friends ain't none of my business. So I really, girl, I was stuck in between a rock and a hard place. And I ain't gonna lie, I didn't say nothing. I started seeing Sabrina's relationship with Jason as more serious. They have been together all this time. I want to say it was a few months, maybe like 5 or 6, somewhere around there, okay? So I had an event coming up. Here's your tickets. Invite whoever you want. So I get a hold of Sabrina and I have, you know, however many tickets left. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing on this night? I tell her about the event. And so she was like, oh yeah, you know, me and Jason would love to come. Hey, by the way, can Desiree and her man come? And I was like, yeah, for sure. Like I got enough tickets. The event comes around. It's like real exclusive, real like hoity-toity. It was real nice. I just hated the people that came, girl. Like there was this one girl that really pissed me off. She really thought, girl, I'm not even gonna lie. She was pretty. She was really pretty, but man, that attitude was so bad. I almost got into a fight with her at this damn opening because she was doing too much and treating me like the fucking help. Anyways, y'all, so by the time Sabrina and them got there, I was already like up to here because like that girl had really gotten under my skin. You guys can get some drinks from the bar. Everything's cool. Like there was like a few different merch booths that were around like the perimeter of, it was like a nightclub, and there were dancers and there were vendors and like there were a few different bars and bartenders. And when you work there, I had been there since early in the afternoon, so I got to know the bartender, and he let me know that my drinks would be like super discounted, right? I was like paying like $2 a drink, right? All of a sudden Sabrina comes to me and she's like, hey girl, like I ain't even gonna lie, the fucking drinks here are expensive. And I was like, and they were, like I said, this was a very hoity-toity place. I had been buying from him all day and I was tipping him very well. So I was like, hey, I'll tip you out at the end of the night, but like, can she have my $2 drinks? And he was like, yeah, that's cool. So I was like, oh, thank you so much. So there you go. For the rest of the night, Sabrina's going up to the bar and getting $2 drinks, and he's giving them to her. Well, I didn't know that Sabrina wasn't getting those drinks for herself, bitch. She was getting them for Desiree. I thought that this was just at the party. This girl was messy. She was a messy drinker. She was a messy partier. I'm talking about falling, stumbling, tripping. Where's the bathroom, y'all? I get her to the bathroom with Sabrina, like she can barely make it into the stall. She almost pees on herself. She ends up falling in the stall. Like it was a whole thing, and I was like, oh my God, right? So I tell Sabrina, get her some water. And I was like, you know, stop getting those drinks for her. And I'm kind of panicking because this is like also an event that is for another one of my friends. And it looks bad whenever I invite somebody who's being a complete mess like this. So I was hoping that we could just like confine it to the bathroom. Let's get her some water and then just get her out of here peacefully. The DJ starts playing her song. I swear every song was her song. And she comes out of the bathroom and she goes out onto the dance floor. And like I said, there was like these cubes that were in the middle of the space, and there were dancers, like professional dancers up there. And you know, they had on all the same uniform and like they're dancing on this lit up cube. Well, anyways, girl, they're out there, and not even 5-10 minutes later, I hear one of my friends be like, Nikki, is that like one of your homegirls? And I look over and there's Desiree on one of the cubes, and the dancer's like looking at her, and she's literally going, no, sweetie, no, like you can't be up here. And Desiree's like, yeah, whatever, bitch, you're just like fucking jealous. She starts like twerking, but like not in a good way. She goes down on all fours, and like this, she really thinks that she's doing something, but it just looks like a weird like hump on the floor. A friend that told me is like looking at me like, handle it. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. So I start heading over there. As I'm heading over there, I see Sabrina, and she's like handing Desiree water. There's a glass of water, and she's like, just take this, just take this. I'm not even like 10 feet away from them. I don't fucking want that. That glass out of Sabrina's hand, and it goes flying and breaking, and like the music stopped, and people had to come out, the staff had to come out and clean it because it was glass. At this point, I don't care. I don't know you like that. I don't have to continue putting up with this. And y'all, I had it. And I was like, I straight up went over there and I was like, Desiree, get your ass down now. She straight up looked at me. She was like, who are you talking to? And I was like, I'm talking to you. So I grab her and keep it. I don't know her like that, but I still, at this point, I'm done. You're not going to continue to do this and like embarrass me. Like, you're lucky that you're even in this event, to be honest, because like I don't even know you like that. Like, you're a guest of a guest. Who the fuck do you think you, how you just gonna come up here? Hell no. So like I was like, get down, get off. So I grab her off. She comes off. She snatches herself. She's like, I don't know. Here she goes. I don't know who you think you're talking to, but you must not know me. And I was like, bitch, you don't fucking know me. And Sabrina's in the middle of us. Get her out. out. The DJ's like trying to ramp up the music again. It's like, oh, okay, like everybody, let's get back into it. It's all good. Everything's all good. And I'm like making my way off of like the dance floor, and I hear, and this bitch is talking shit, and they're right near, like there were stairs, and you had to go down the stairs to get out the building, and she's right at the top of the stairs, and she is just yelling, and this bitch is so like jealous, like she thinks that she's somebody, like who is she to be throwing me out? I'm not going nowhere. She's like pushing up against Sabrina. The guys are trying to get her out, and I was already so pissed. And so I go over there and I was like, what? And I shouldn't have done that because I knew that she was messed up, but I couldn't help it. And I was like, what you got to say? Like, you're lucky that you're even here. Like, get your messy ass out of here. Like, so my other friends, you know, they rallied around me, and I ended up having a good night for the rest of the night. Like, everything was chill. Everything was all good. Fast forward, like the next day or two, Sabrina texts me apologizing. I'm so sorry for how everything worked out. Like me and Desiree, she kept saying me and Desiree, we're so sorry. We didn't mean for that to happen. But I never heard from Desiree herself. And I was fine with that because you know what? No harm, no foul. She's not my best friend. Like I just know, I ain't never having her come to any of our events ever again. Like, it's done. She needs to keep that shit inside the house. It is what it is. And, like, not my problem, okay? Fast forward, and Sabrina gets a hold of me, and it's about to be her birthday. And, you know, we start talking about birthday plans, and she was like, you know, I don't know if I want to, like, be downtown and walking around. Like, I'm still talking to my tia about it, so, like, we'll see. So finally she gets a hold of me, and she has birthday plans, and she was like, hey, we're just gonna keep it cute, and we're gonna actually, my family knows the family that owns the restaurant that we would go to have our micheladas, and she was like, they're gonna let us have the whole place on this date, and it's just gonna be for my party, and we're gonna have like a live band there, and it's gonna be so much fun. Can you and David come? And I was like, oh hell yeah, like I'm not about to miss her birthday for nothing. So I was like, absolutely, count us in. Her party started pretty late. Like we didn't get there until like, I don't know, 8:30, and it was gonna go on all night, okay? So we get there, it's late, there's nobody else in the parking lot except for the cars, except for everybody that's going to this party, okay? So we go inside, it's like a restaurant, like I said, but they had moved the furniture around. It looked like a completely different place. All of her family's there, you know, everybody's sweet. They have like a little gift table and everything. I set down my gift, and you know, there are little kids running around, and you know, it was a good time, right? And then the door of the restaurant opens, and I just see a bunch of balloons. The balloons move out of the way, and it's Desiree. Oh my God, like I have some more in my car, and I don't know, like I was right there by the door, and I was like, hey, do you need any help? Not from you. So here we go. I know from the literal second that she walked into this place, we got a problem, because she for real looked at me and said, not from you. Struggle then. Look crazy out there in the wind struggling with them balloons. Go ahead. Needless to say, the rest of the night was nothing but jabs and digs and side eyes, and I'm just trying to put everything behind me because, you know, this is my friend. So, you know, it's about her. Let's have a good night, right? And so we have the cake, and they have music, and everything kind of starts settling down. You know, drinks are flowing. You know, people are having a good time. And then some people start leaving. And it's at this point in time when, like, some people start leaving. More and more of the kids are leaving. And, like, it turned into, like, kind of like a club thing. Like, they had some good music playing. And, girl, like, we were having shots. And it was, like, so much fun, right? I'm feeling good, I'm feeling warm, I'm feeling friendly. Sabrina was real into selfies. She loved putting selfies all over Facebook and stuff. Sitting there, and she just keeps going up to everybody, okay, and say cheese, and like da-da-da, right? And it just so happened to work out where she was in the middle, and all of a sudden she pulls out and she was like, okay, like y'all say cheese, and it's her in the middle, me, and then on the other side it's Desiree. So she does that, and like, you know, I kind of like do my little pose, my little millennial pose. And why did this bitch, she fucking backs up? You would have thought that like she got burnt in the asshole with the way that she acted. She was like, no, I'm not about to, don't be putting me in a picture with that bitch. Don't be putting me in a picture with that bitch. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's bad enough when I'm sober, but when I've been drinking, oh, it's like I welcome it. It's like I go like this. Please come hither. Please come hither. Who the fuck are you calling a bitch? And all of a sudden, here we go. we're getting into it. And she was like, you. And Sabrina was like, Desiree, please, like, don't do this. Please don't do this. Desiree was like, no, we need to talk about this. Like, let's talk about it. Like, you had so much to say about her too. And she said that to Sabrina, like eluding that they had been talking shit about me. So I'm looking at Sabrina now like, oh, now you have a problem? Like, okay, like I can leave. I don't understand. Like, if y'all don't like somebody, why are you inviting me out? I don't have to be here. Like, please don't have these little cahoots and to be talking shit behind my back and then have the audacity to invite me to your funky party. So I'm looking at Sabrina like, we got a problem too. So Sabrina literally was like, come here. So we go off to the side and it's just us three. And like Desiree is just talking and talking and talking. She's doing this thing where she's talking to Sabrina about me in like the most disrespectful way, but like doing it in like a bestie way. Like, she doesn't understand, like, we're best friends. Like, you know, we've been through so much together and like we've seen this before. We've seen bitches like her before. Like, I don't understand why you're still fucking with her. Like, I don't understand like why you keep inviting her around, like especially how she treated us. And she kept like doing it to where like I was common enemy number one. And I was like, what you mean us? So like she's going through her spiel and I was like, no. And I just kept saying that. I was like, no, it was just you. It wasn't about Sabrina. It was just you. No, you were acting crazy. You got messy. No, you were being embarrassing. No, like it wasn't about her. It's not about this whole like, you know, besties against the world thing. Like it was just you. You were the problem. Looks at me and she was like, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to my best friend, stupid bitch. I'ma go. And Sabrina was like, no, Nikki, no, like please, like I just want to talk to you about it. And I was like, no, because you know what? I'm tired of like being made to feel like I don't understand what's going on and like y'all have this whole best friend shit going down. Like I don't care about y'all's best friendship. Be best friends. Don't invite me anywhere no more. Like obviously our friendship is a problem. And Desiree was like, yeah, it is a problem because like you're a fake ass bitch. This girl, she don't have good intentions for you. Like we know bitches like her. And she kept saying shit like that. And I don't know where she makes this leap, this bound, this abhorrent fucking leap. She's a piece of shit. Like she's the type of bitch that would sleep with your man. She's the type of bitch that would fuck your man. I know. Rich like sweet molasses, honey. I know. You fucking lying. Have you told her yet that you already fucked Jason a long time ago, more than once? And after all this time, you still ain't told her, huh? Yeah, she fucked your man. You remember when she was with his brother back in high school and they were all lovey-dovey? She was over there hoeing at their house. So how about y'all figure that out? And without further ado, I'm about to peace out before I go to fucking jail. If you gonna sit up there and fix your mouth to say something like that about me and my character and you don't even know me like that, and you also know the type of person that you are, it be the people that actually do shit like this, that have the utmost audacity to be accusing other people of being just like they are. You know, a lot of times when people accuse you of things or like say, oh, she's the type of person that would, it's typically because they're the type of people that would. Just hear Sabrina being like, is that true? And Desiree was like, it wasn't like that. It was a long time ago. Like it didn't mean nothing. And everything else besides yes, but she was alluding to yes. And Sabrina was like, fucking tell me. Y'all, they start getting into a huge like argument. And like I said, my girl Sabrina, she was already a firecracker. So she was like, no, fucking tell me right now. And like they're yelling and everybody is like, what's going on? And y'all, the scenes from the movies when you're walking out of the building and the whole building just like combust on fire. That's how I felt. Don't start none, won't be none. Like don't fucking do not bring me into your mess. Do not do that. Because if you do and you decide to fucking talk to me sideways, I'll sing like a canary, bitch. I don't have any loyalty to you. I don't know you like that. And if you think that you gonna call me out my name multiple times and be trying to come at my character and say some off the wall shit like that, girl, please, I got something for your ass. Whew. I don't think they actually fist fought. Like as we were driving out, like people were already separating them and like trying to get them into different cars and stuff. But the party definitely stopped right then and there. I completely cut it. Everything. I spilled the beans. I spilled them all over the place. I made a huge mess. I hated being othered. That's why I don't like other people being othered. You know, instead of just having a conversation with me like, hey, like I really wish that it would have ended a different way, or, you know, I wish that like you wouldn't have talked to me like that, or you wouldn't have thrown me out or whatever. Like, have a conversation with me. But for you to go there and you don't even know me like that, okay, let me show you a little something about me. Don't play with me. See, the crazy part is that you told me something like that. Somebody that you didn't even know that well, against your best friend. I don't know if they were still able to be friends. And like, what's the big deal? Like, if it was in the past, why wouldn't she tell you? To say some shit like that about me. She is the type of bitch to fuck your man. Let me know your thoughts down below. How would you have handled it? Have you had anything like that happen? You know, just some kind of messy stuff. Do you believe in the actual dynamic of best friendship, where you feel like people can be loyal to a fault to one another? If you're best friends with somebody, how seriously do you take that? Thank y'all so much for coming to chill with me for story time. I love y'all, and I will see you guys in a few days with another video. I'm gonna be revamping my channel a bit, but I don't want to talk about it. I just want to show y'all. But yeah, so meet me back here in a few days, and make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss out. But I love y'all. Your girl is back. I love y'all so much, but God loves you more, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Peace out.